What's up guys, and welcome back in a new video on this channel. Today we're going to talk about a huge topic coming into the clay season, especially, and coming into the French Open, especially, as I've said. We know that Rafael Nadal hasn't been playing and has not been playing at his best even when he was playing in the last few months, but we didn't expect a so slow start in 2023 in terms of match play. He played only 4 matches in this season, two in the United Cup. Both of them were losses by Rafa, because the Spaniard wasn't able to play at his best, and he lost against Norrie firstly, and then against the Minor secondly. And then he came up at the Australian Open with low expectations after a very, very tough 6 months before, from the end of Wimbledon until the start of that specific tournament in Melbourne. And he lost at the second round. In the first round, he won against Draper. He played bad, but he still won. He won the first round in 4 sets, a tough 4-setter, where Draper also struggled a little bit physically in the last 2 sets, and he wasn't able to show his best level, to play at his best. And Rafa won that match. And then in the fourth, then in the second round, he simply wasn't there from the start, and he got injured also. Half of the second set, while running towards the ball, he felt some pain and he got injured, and he said that normal recovery time was between 6 weeks until 8 weeks, but this thing is taking really, really a lot of time. Rafa got injured the 18th of January 2023. Now we are at the 18th of April, 12 weeks, and he hasn't been back, and he has not been back. So there is a huge question mark coming in the French Open. We know that Djokovic is there, but he still doesn't have the rhythm. He still isn't playing at his best, but in the last few seasons he didn't play well in Monte Carlo, so I'm not worried about Novak's situation, but I'm worried about Rafa's situation. And we know that in the French Open, usually, or always, we can say also, or very often, there wasn't any doubt about the winner in the last 15, 20 years. Since 2005 until 2022, Rafa was able to win 14 out of 18 Roland Garros titles. He won 14 of them. The 3 losses came against Robin Southern in the 4th round of the 2009 Roland Garros. The second loss came against Novak Djokovic in the 2015 Roland Garros, and the third loss came against always Djokovic, but in the semifinals of the 2021 edition of the French Slam. So once every 60 years, Rafa loses at the French Open, and once every 60 years he loses in a final round. So we started from a 4th round, we go to a quarterfinal, then we go to a semifinal. So now, for sure, you're going to ask me, why did Rafa win 14 Roland Garros and not 15 if he only lost 3 matches? Well, in 2016 he withdrew from the fourth round, if I'm not mistaken, or the third one. I don't remember specifically. Probably was the third one. And because he had a wrist injury and he couldn't play the event. The only time he withdrew from Roland Garros, well, not the only time, because also in 2004 he was meant to play, but he didn't play at the end because of another injury that he had. And last year has been incredible for Nadal. I mean, he won 2 Grand Slams at the age of 35, 36 years old. He reached the Wimbledon semifinal, and coming in the US Open, he wasn't in the best form possible, but he still played okay in some times. Then against Tiafoe, he didn't play well. He played bad, but he was there. I don't want to say that he was playing good, because I'm lying. I would lie if I was saying that he was playing good, because he was playing bad, without a doubt. But in the fourth round, it was a breakup in the fourth. Who knows if he manages in some way, somehow, to get into a fifth. Rafa's experience. Maybe Tiafo gets emotional about the circumstances it was, but you know, at the end he lost in 4 sets, so who cares? And then he played in Bercy, Paris Masters, and he lost in the first turn against Tommy Paul, a bad loss. I mean, the first set was average, he won 8-6-3, the second set was also average, he lost 7-6, he should have closed the match in tiebreaker, using his experience, using his ability to fight in the toughest moments, in his ability to play better, to play better. So yeah, we can say also play better. It's the best way, it's the easiest way to say it. And for me, that I'm not, as you know, I'm not English. I speak English pretty well, I will be honest. I don't want to sound arrogant, but even I am in an Italian school, and my level is higher than the average in the class, in the school in general, people of my age. But I speak English well, but not fantastically. So it's not that I don't speak English like a player who's coming, a person that is from England or from the USA. So yeah, if I do some errors, for sure, please say it in the comments down below, because I appreciate it and I will learn from them. You know, it takes some time to learn a language. It is impossible to speak a language, probably, or nearly impossible to speak a language with the same fluency, with the same natural way than a people who's from a country where he speaks that language. For example, a person that is from England will always speak better English than me, or at least in a more natural way, that's for sure. And talking about tennis, now we go back to tennis, of course, because it's the main point of the video, and the main point of the video is Rafa Nadal. Rafa Nadal's situation. We are going to talk about when he's going to be back, and if he is actually going to be back. He's taking some time in order to get in form, but you know, I don't think that that Rafa is ready at his best in order to play. I saw the videos of him training, and he was training at a very, very low speed on his in terms of kilometers or miles per hour on his shots, but not that. First of all, I saw only a few practice sessions from Rafa on serve. I mean, I saw only, I think, 2 or 3 trainings on YouTube. I found only where he was serving. The other ones, shots from the baseline. The first trainings were without footwork. I mean, the guy wasn't playing well and wasn't training. He's training, but he's not at his best. And he should have came back in Monte Carlo, but he withdrew from the event a couple of days before, and the day before the draw came out. Then he was supposed to play also the Barcelona Open that is this week, and he didn't play it. Now, the events that are possibly some candidates to be Rafa's comeback, to be the main No, let's start again this sentence because it was really bad. I will say it again, I will repeat it again because I didn't explain it well, sorry. So we have 3 tournaments that will be the 3 contenders to be the 4th tournament where Rafa comes back after the injury he had in this year's Australian Open. So the first one obviously is Madrid Masters, the second one is Rome, and the third one is Roland Garros. Let's analyze the dates of these events. It is going to take me a few minutes to review if I remember them correctly, but you will just see me again speaking English, not so good but not so bad, in a half second, even less, you will see. So, as I was saying before, there are 3 main options for Rafa's return, if he will be back, we hope. But As he said many times in many occasions, in the future nobody knows. And Rafa is not an exception in this case. Even if it seems strange to say that Rafa is not an exception, but in some circumstances he really isn't an exception. So here he isn't. Madrid starts on 26th of April, and it ends in the 7th of May. So Rafa doesn't care about when the tournament ends, but he cares about when it starts. Then Rome starts from the 10th of May and it ends on the 24th, my bad, of May. Then Roland Garros, which is possibly it's the biggest chance that Rafa retires, I think, in this French Open. So it starts on the 28th of May, then it ends 11th of June. So these are the three possibilities that Rafa has, in my opinion, and he needs some matches before Roland Garros, but it's also possible that he skips completely the clay season and he goes directly to the French Open, which is the tournament that gave him so much success. And I believe that at the end he may do that, even if I hope he doesn't do that. We saw Rafa playing in the last months, and for me it's really tough to see him winning the French Open, because I know that at the French is better than he is at the Australian Open, but you saw the Australian Open, how much he struggled to win a match. You can also see from his attitude, because Rafa for sure is one of the most intense players on tour, without a doubt, possibly the most intense. But usually he doesn't ground that much in first rounds of Slam. Did you see the match against Ripper? Grounding in every ball, even loud. That's a sign for me. A sign that he knew that he was in danger, that he was vulnerable. And if Nadal is vulnerable in the first round of Australian Open, I believe that it is the same at the French, at least from third, fourth round. So that's not what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think that he actually has a chance to win Roland Garros, but it's still Rafa and it's still the French Open. So a small, slim chance there is. But from what we saw, honestly, I highly doubt that. But with Nadal, you never know, and everything can happen with him, and everything can happen in tennis. If Rafa wins this French Open, I think that they should make a film about it. I mean, they should make a film about it, like a scenario, for example, where all the players are there. Yes, there is a French Open Slam there, fighting balls up there. Then it comes from a black view, and it starts appearing. Rafa putting his bandana on his head, and he says, "No one wins there. I'm the king." And then he says, "The king is gone." That would be spectacular and fascinating, and I'm waiting for that. That would be legendary, guys. That would be something that we will never witness anymore in our lives. A human lives for 80, 90, 100. Even the oldest human, I don't know how many years he or she has, maybe 130, 40, but in 100 years, I'm pretty sure that no one will achieve what Nadal achieved at the French Open. That would be remarkable by him. That would be probably the greatest achievement in his career. But I don't think he has a chance. I will be honest with you. I don't want to be nasty, but I think that he doesn't have a chance to win Roland Garros. I know that Rafa on clay is better than Rafa on hard court. I know that on clay he plays incredibly well, even better than how he plays on both hard courts and grass. But we have to be realistic. I don't think that he can win even 4 matches in a row in 1 week. I don't want to say that there is no chance that happens, but probably there is no chance that it happens. So yeah. But the main point of the video was also talking about if Rafa can win the French Open and if he has a chance to and when he will be back. I think that Madrid is too early. I don't think that he will be back in Madrid. I saw an article talking about the chance that Nadal had to play in Barcelona, and it was, I think, 10 or 15 hours before he withdrew from the tournament eventually, but the chances were 10%. And Madrid is only 1 week after it. It is really tough that in 1 week the chances go up to 50 at least. I don't want to say 90 or 80, but 50. So I think that the Madrid Open isn't a chance. I don't think that will be back in Madrid. Here, I think that the two options that remain are that he will be back in Rome or at the French Open. When he will be back, in my opinion, and where? Well, Rome is 3 weeks away, so he has a chance to come back in Rome. Let's say that in 2 weeks he has to be ready, in 14 days, and if he plays in Madrid, he has to be ready in 4, approximately. So there is a chance that he comes back in Rome. He needs to play some matches before the French Open, but I also have some doubts there. But I think that he will be back at the French Open eventually. So I guess that he will be back directly to the ant. Sorry. Let's start again. And let's close this video in a great way. I believe that Rafael Nadal will come back at Roland Garros and retire. I don't think that he will be back in Rome just because he understands that he doesn't have the ability anymore and the physical endurance to play more than some matches, so he will preserve his energies for the French Open and eventually all in. If he wins, if he loses, he will retire. I don't see that something else from that will happen. We will see, but we will see. Maybe we'll be wrong. Maybe Rafa will win the French Open and will silence me. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.